The Chicago Bears are a team that's been mired in mediocrity for far too long. After seasons of ups and downs with brief glimpses of hope followed by crushing disappointments, Bears fans have been left asking, when will it end? They've watched a team with incredible potential struggle year after year, unable to find consistency, leadership, or success. But now, something is changing. The winds of change are blowing through Hallis Hall, and it's all thanks to a brutal but honest admission by one of the team's star players, tight end Cole Kmet. In recent months, Kmet pulled no punches when reflecting on the state of the Chicago Bears. Speaking candidly, he pointed out something that fans and analysts alike have suspected for years. The Bears have a loser culture that has been deeply ingrained in the team for far too long. That's a tough pill to swallow for any fan of the franchise, especially considering the rich history the Bears boast. But it's something that needed to be said. The admission is tough, it's honest, and it's exactly what this team needed to hear. But the question is, how did it get to this point? What does it mean for the Bears moving forward? And can they really change their fortunes in 2025? To truly understand the weight of Kmet's comments, we need to take a look back at the Bears' recent seasons and what led up to this moment. Since 2018, the Bears have been in a continuous state of rebuilding, from the firing of head coach John Fox to the hiring of Matt Nagy, then to the latest shift in leadership. There has been little consistency or clarity on what the Bears stand for as a franchise. Sure, the team has had some bright spots along the way, but they have been few and far between. In the past 6 seasons, the Bears have failed to post a winning record. That is a staggering statistic for a franchise that once prided itself on being one of the most storied teams in NFL history. Now, in 2025, the Bears are at a crossroads. With the hiring of Ben Johnson as head coach, a fresh perspective has arrived at Hallis Hall. Johnson, who previously served as the offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions, comes to the Bears with a reputation for being a dynamic offensive mind. The hope is that he will not only turn around the Bears' offensive struggles, but also change the culture that has held this team back. But let's be real here. Changing the culture of a franchise isn't something that happens overnight. It takes time, it takes commitment, and it takes the right people in the right positions. Before we dive deeper into what Kmet's admission means and how Ben Johnson fits into the bigger picture, let's take a moment to understand the significance of the situation. The Bears have been stuck in a vicious cycle for years now. They've experienced brief moments of success, but those moments have always been fleeting. In 2018, they made the playoffs, but a heartbreaking loss to the Philadelphia Eagles in the wild card round still stings to this day. Then in 2020, they managed to make it back to the postseason, only to get trounced by the New Orleans Saints in the first round. The team has had talent, both offensively and defensively, but it has failed to translate into consistent, meaningful success. The Bears are stuck in this never-ending loop of rebuilding and searching for answers. Enter Cole Kmet. The young tight end has been with the Bears since 2020 and has quickly emerged as one of the team's most reliable playmakers. He's someone who has seen firsthand the struggles this team has gone through. In his candid admission about the team's loser culture, Kmet wasn't just speaking out of frustration, he was speaking from a place of understanding. He knows that the Bears have a roster full of talented players, but that talent has been wasted because the culture hasn't been right. The term loser culture is a harsh one. It's not something anyone wants to hear about their team, especially when that team has a passionate fan base like the Bears do. But Kmet wasn't calling out his teammates, he was calling out the environment that has held them back. He's admitting that the team has, at times, gotten used to losing. Losing has become the norm. And when losing becomes the norm, it's hard to break free from that cycle. It's not just about individual performances, it's about the mentality that permeates the locker room. But Kmet's comments shouldn't be seen as a death sentence for the Bears. In fact, they're a rallying cry. They're a call to arms for both the players and the coaches to take ownership of their futures. Kmet's willingness to speak out could very well serve as the catalyst for change. It's a sign that the team is ready to acknowledge the problem and begin the difficult work of fixing it. So what exactly does this mean for the Bears in 2025? Can they turn things around and break free from the culture of losing that has plagued them for so long? First and foremost, the Bears need a change in leadership, and that's exactly what they're getting with Ben Johnson. The hiring of Johnson was a bold move, but it was one that showed the Bears' commitment to turning things around. Johnson's success as the offensive coordinator in Detroit was no fluke. Under his leadership, the Lions' offense transformed from one of the worst in the league to one of the most dynamic and explosive units in the NFL. Hey, that kind of turnaround doesn't happen by accident, and it's the kind of change the Bears desperately need. When Johnson was introduced as the new head coach of the Bears, he didn't shy away from the challenge. In fact, he embraced it. In his first press conference, he said, "I felt like this place was a sleeping giant. I was more concerned about the Chicago Bears than anyone else in this division." That's a powerful statement. Johnson sees the potential in this team. He sees a team that, with the right leadership, could be a force to be reckoned with in the NFC North. But he also knows that there is a lot of work to be done. The culture has to change. The mindset has to shift. And it all starts with accountability. Ben Johnson's offensive system will play a crucial role in this transformation. The Bears' offense has been one of the weakest in the league for years, and Johnson's task is to turn that around. But it's not just about putting together a flashy offense. It's about developing a culture of trust, discipline, and accountability within the unit. Johnson will have to work with young players like Justin Fields, who has shown flashes of brilliance, but needs to become more consistent. He'll need to build a system that maximizes Fields' strengths and helps him develop into the quarterback the Bears need him to be. Speaking of Fields, the young quarterback will be one of the most important players in this cultural shift. Fields has shown the ability to make incredible plays, but he's also struggled with consistency. As the Bears' franchise quarterback, Fields has to step up not only on the field, but also as a leader. He needs to set the tone for the rest of the team and show them what it means to compete at the highest level. The Bears also have a strong group of players who could help turn things around, including Kmet himself, Darnell Mooney, and Jaquan Brisker. These players need to buy into the new culture Johnson is trying to build, and they need to lead by example. It's not just about talent. It's about creating an environment where everyone is held to the highest standard and where losing is no longer an acceptable outcome. But the culture change can't be confined to the players. The front office, led by General Manager Ryan Poles, needs to take ownership of the team's failures as well. Poles has been with the Bears since 2022, and while he's made some solid moves, the results on the field haven't been there. Poles recently took responsibility for the Bears' disappointing 2024 season, saying, "Looking back at the season, we're not happy with the results. I have to take responsibility as the leader of the football operation for that." That kind of accountability is important. The front office plays a huge role in shaping the culture of the team. They are the ones who make the decisions on personnel, who sign the players, and who put the resources in place to make sure the team is successful. If the Bears are going to break free from their losing ways, it's going to take a collective effort from both the players and the front office. But all of this starts with the culture. Kmet's admission about the Bears' loser culture wasn't just a statement, it was a wake-up call. The Bears are in a position where they can either continue to spiral into mediocrity or they can make the necessary changes to turn things around. The hiring of Ben Johnson was the first step in the right direction. Now it's up to the players, coaches, and front office to follow through and make the 2025 season one that Bears fans will remember for all the right reasons. So, what do you think, Bears fans? Can this team finally break free from the culture of losing and become the contenders we all know they can be? Or will it be another season of disappointment? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.